In 2006, 656 Comics unleashed Infestacion. It became the only Latino zombie comic of its time. Now, 656 Comics brings us the most intensely shocking graphic novel experience of all time. Undead Border. Escape or die. The border is overrun by the living dead, and the only option is to escape or die. 656 Comics brings back the dead.
All right, we are live, and we have a whole. Hang on, can I get this thing working? Here we go. We have a whole party of people in here.
Hey,
We have. How you all going? We've got Oliver, Ray, and
What's up?
Xavier, and we've also got Bandito. Let's get him on the stream. How you going, Bandito?
Doing well. Hail and well met.
Hail and well met, my friend.
We'll put this up so I can fit in with everybody.
There we go. Otherwise, it just looks weird.
I know, right? And then the comments come up, and I'm always going to be covered up. And I mean, this is better for everybody involved. So
we have to cover our identities because living in the border is pretty dangerous.
it's a true
Especially when
idea.
there's zombies on the border.
Yeah.
Well, I
What is
don't
this?
cover my identity. I just have bad hair right now. So.
When it says undead
656
border,
team.
I thought it was like
welcome.
state border.
I'm sorry, say again?
What was that?
I was saying 656 team, welcome, and Xavier was saying something about at the border, skateboarder. I don't know.
I was saying something.
Okay,
That was
sorry.
Bandito. Too many people. Why'd you let so many people on Bancroft?
Well, it's a party. It's a party
party.
today. It's, apparently, it's hot over there. It's freezing where I am. I'm sitting here with a heater, and over there, the sun is shining. Well, not anymore right now, but it's hot.
And then some. Yeah, it was about 100. I think it was 101 today. Tomorrow's expected to be 105. And there was a rolling blackout like a little while ago down in central El Paso, and about 100,000 people had no electricity for about 5 hours.
Holy moly.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm extremely jelly of wherever you are that is winter right now because here
Well,
in
I'm really-
northern Mexico is hell right now.
I'm feeling like I could use a bit of a heat wave right now because
I'll
the
trade
heating
you.
is not sufficing. That's just the thing of it, isn't it? When you're in the cold, you want the hot, and then when you're in the hot, you want the cold.
Exactly.
We've got some people in the chat. Blue Samurai, waiting with bated breath. You guys are here.
Yep.
Presume that's you. Yep, you're all here. Yep, great.
Awesome.
And Mo Biggs. Love to see Mo Biggs. It's he says let's tone down the bullying today. You guys are new to the show, so yeah.
Bullying.
I
We'll
can
try to
take
keep
it.
it in
I can
check.
take it. It's all good. I can take it.
You guys sound like some tough guys. Are you guys all from the same part of the country? Where are you guys at? El Paso, did you say?
El Paso,
Yes, sir.
Ray, and we're in Ciudad Juarez, and Javier is in Chihuahua. So yeah, we're kind of separated.
But it's
Well,
pretty
not that much.
much the same zone altogether.
Yeah, it's not up near Canada where Bandito is. That's for sure.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're a little bit further away, that's for sure, up here.
Another border, huh?
Yeah, a border and then a border.
That's cool.
What exact part of Canada are you in?
I'm in central Alberta.
Oh, Alberta. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have Australia's a big country as well. I don't know if it's quite as big as the States, but it's pretty big. And I went back up to my hometown in Queensland, which is up north,
Mhm.
and they started calling me Mexican. I'm like, what? What are you? Because and I said, you're a Mexican. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, you're south of the border. Because now I live down in Melbourne, which is down south. Apparently, that's what they call us. I don't know. I
That's
never knew that.
interesting.
So what do they call actual Mexicans that go there? Like from Mexico when they're Mexican 2.0 or something.
Yeah, real Mexican, genuine.
Genuine Mexican.
Genuine article.
OG.
Yeah. I mean, the most connection that I have with Mexico is I grew up watching the Three Amigos when I was a kid, and we don't even have Taco Bell here, restaurants here. We have a rip-off version called Taco Bill. And Taco Bell want to open up, and then they're getting sued by Taco Bell because they said no, we were here first. And then Taco Bell is like, well, motherfucker, we're a multinational conglomerate corporation, so
we'll take you on, Taco Bell.
It's a multinational everywhere except Mexico because it's not really Mexican food.
I imagine it wouldn't fare too well.
That's great. Mexico's like right outside the door.
He called me Hosaf.
Oh, Brad, from Australia. You went totally robot.
I can imagine. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. It's oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, I have a bit of bad connection in here. This is my lunch hour stream. I don't know if you're aware. So I do this during my lunch break from work. And when people are in the office, I've got to kind of like slink away and go to a little boardroom.
Oh.
And the Wi-Fi isn't as good as in my normal area. So if I robot, just let me know and yell at me or just laugh at me. It's all good.
No worries.
Yeah,
okay,
used
to laughing.
My friend here, he calls me Jose sometimes when I get drunk because one time I got drunk on a bottle of tequila. I think it's called Jose something. Jose.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. And for some reason, I'm a better poker player when I drink that. I drink half a bottle and I get better. So yeah, it's fuel. It's courage fuel.
Yeah, tequila is a hard sell for me. It actually makes me extremely violent towards myself. So.
All right.
Yeah, I started like doing things to myself, like run into doors, into like door jams, like peel nails off my feet. Apparently, from what my wife has told me.
Oh God! Yeah, lay off the worm juice then.
Yeah, no, thank you. Give me some whiskey. I'll take some whiskey.
I'm a whiskey drinker too. We're all whiskey drinkers. We're sophisticated men.
Yeah,
that's right. Why we make comics.
There you go.
Hex Allen's hailing everybody. Great to see you here, buddy. Todd's Truth. Todd's Truth. Thank you for coming up.
In the chat. Awesome. Great
Oliver,
turnout today.
Oliver, we met when we were talking to Micah, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We did. And what are you doing for Micah?
I'm coloring his awesome book called 3 Nights, 4 Days.
Yep.
I'm the
How much whiskey have you had?
I know.
Oh, by the way, Pancho's here. He finally
arrived.
Crackhead Jeremy.
Hello, everyone.
I'm gonna chat. Oh.
Hi.
Yeah, so
this is Pancho, the writer. Sorry, I went to errand and just got back. Supply run.
Cool. Well, great to have you here. XM Comics 4 Nights.
I suggested that name, by the way.
It didn't go. I wouldn't imagine that would go over well with Micah Curtis.
No.
He likes to keep things pretty straight and above board. Oh man, Mike.
He chuckles, but you can tell he's always like, Yep.
Move on.
Okay, so now that we're actually talking about the book.
There it is.
Awesome.
Yeah, 3 Nights, 4 Days, available now on Indiegogo with Oliver's amazing. The colors are fantastic. We spent a good amount of time talking to Micah about the coloring that you've done on that and how it's the reds come in and it's a different kind of feel. It really is helping tell the story there, which is what we love to see from colors.
Awesome. Yeah.
Are you doing the colors on Escape or Die? Is it called Undead Border or is it called Escape or Die?
It's Undead. Yeah, it's the whole. You can call it whatever, but that's the whole name. Undead Border, Escape or Die. But yeah, you asked a question or something? Oh, I'm doing.
I was just wondering.
Yeah. No, I'm not coloring. I'm just lettering for Escape or Die. I just did the cover colors and maybe color the perks. I'm not sure. We're still deciding if we're gonna keep it in black and white or in color. So
Yeah, because you guys are still in the this is the pre-launch phase.
Yes.
So anyone who's listening, as I always say, go and sign up. I mean, why not? It doesn't cost you anything.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
look,
definitely.
you can get a free exclusive trading card if you go on to back it.
We're gonna try and have more
Um,
perks as we get going, as the campaign rolls on. And so this is just the start off right here, but there's also going to be a bookmark and I think a few other pieces of art. We're actually thinking about a tier to just to put all the books that have come out before this book as also like a bundle type tier also, but we're still working on that. So.
All right. Well,
That's
you know, I don't know if you guys have caught this show before, but that's what I like to do is kind of like, you know, meet you guys before we dive into the book and sort of see, you know, where you're coming from and, you know, how you got into making comic books. So there,
Definitely.
this is like a continuation of our previous books.
Yes, so it is a continuation of previous books. It started in a book called Infestación, which is pretty much infestation translated over. And that was launched, what year was that launched in?
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
And from that, it just kind of like spread out. And I've known these guys for a very long time, and they asked me if I could write the part that happens in El Paso because the zombie plague kind of like spills over into El Paso. And I wrote a book called Hell's Pass. And they're all kind of interconnecting stories that are eventually going to end with a huge book later on down the road. But Undead Border is the perfect jumping on point to see what's going on in the whole 656 universe, I guess you could say.
That's super cool.
So you guys are building like a universe of stories around this.
Definitely, yes. That's what we're trying to do. Trying to, you know, interconnect everything, and also a lot of homages to a lot of zombie lore that we love, a lot of horror that we love. You know, I had the privilege of actually meeting George Romero at one point in time. Went to San Diego Comic-Con, and this was back in man, it was like 2008 or 2009, and nobody was around him. He was by himself, sitting at his table. Everybody was more fascinated with, like, I guess, The Walking Dead than they were with Romero. And I got to talk to him for a little while, took a few pictures, and I pitched him the idea that we had about zombies on the border. And he loved it. He actually gave us his blessing. He's all, you know, I never thought about that. I mean, the social commentary, everything that you could think of as a zombie movie would be fit perfectly if it was on the border. So that's we went with it. We just took off and ran with that.
That's awesome. That's crazy. Hey, how sometimes you go to these Comic-Cons and expos and you see these big names that are just sitting there by themselves. I had the same opportunity with Joe Rubenstein.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Who did Wolverine, obviously, and I got him to sign my Wolverine #2. Yeah, he was sitting there all by himself. Had like one person would come up and say hello, would buy a print. He had a bunch of commissions that he was doing, so I mean, people did come by. And then another one was Jeff Isherwood, who I don't know who remembers, but he did a lot of the Conan the Barbarian stuff. Yes. And I grew up kind of drawing his women, right? And you know, they're always half or fully unclothed, and you know, lots of curves and stuff. And that was where I got my artwork. And when I saw him there, he had 2 full tables all to himself and nobody there.
Those cats were beasts, man. Him, all those guys that came before, Alcala, you know, Ernie Chan, John Buscema, all those dudes, man, they were badasses beyond their time. And you know, a lot of them are no longer with us, which kind of sucks. But if you got the chance to meet them, that's all that matters. You know, you got that memory. That happened with me with just one. I kind of like was in awe because nobody even knew who he was, and that was Ray Bradbury.
What?
Yeah, I got to meet Ray
No
Bradbury.
one know who Ray Bradbury was.
How can you not? What? How do you enjoy science fiction and not worship at the altar of Ray Bradbury?
It's because they sat him. It was the year that the Grindhouse movie came out. Tarantino and Rodriguez's Grindhouse movie came out, and at their booth they had a girl that was actually an amputee that had a machine gun leg, like it was strapped to her, and she was dancing on a pole. So everybody was more fascinated with that than Ray Bradbury,
Oh,
who was
fair
sitting
enough,
right
fair
across.
enough.
Right?
Now it all makes sense.
Now it all makes sense. But yeah, I got to meet him, and oh man, he was awesome.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird too because the expos and stuff they bring in all this talent, and you never quite know what's going to hit big. But yeah,
How many
It's
books
true.
have you guys worked on together in the past?
Boy, a whole bunch now. Like what? More than 20?
that's an imperial
Wow.
number,
Guess,
a whole bunch. That's all
guess
good.
it's fair to speak a bit about the 656 comic as a collective, Oli or Pancho.
Yep.
Any of you?
Yeah, we've been doing this the whole indie scene way back when 2003, 2004.
Mhm.
Yeah, and usually we put out a couple of books per year. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, like
And-
big like graphic novels, like more than what 40, 50 pages, more or less. So yeah, and with all the with everything that's going on with CG right now, so we thought I think this could be like a good opportunity to enter now and offer all our back
Yep.
catalog and we just have
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people have done that.
yeah. A lot of old work now that that hasn't been seen outside of Mexico and I think it's pretty good work for you
Yeah,
guys.
like Vinny Arts,
Mhm.
Vinny Tanamella, Eric Weathers, Mike Miller had success with it, a little bit of success with it.
Johnny
a
Phantasm.
little bit.
Yeah.
Johnny Phantasm. Yeah, like it's because you know what it's like. I mean, where were you guys? How were you guys selling your books up until now?
I mean, we used to before COVID we would do book fairs.
Mm.
That's where the money is right now, because conventions in Mexico it's very, how do you say it, Pancho? Very biased, well, sort of, no,
So they're very inclusive. Inclusive
I-
is what you're looking for.
because everybody's
Oh.
looking for the big Marvel or DC comic, no, or Image.
Yeah.
I will
And-
say they are a bit niche in a kind of mainstream way
Mhm.
because everyone is honestly looking for Marvel and DC only. Not even like the Image or Vertigo are big sellers in those kind of conventions. At least of
Well,
now in Mexico.
The problem is they don't know to look for anything different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, they just get spoon fed the mainstream stuff, which I mean, they paid their dues, they got there legitimately, but I mean that's turning over. That's why it's so good for for people getting into Comicsgate now. It's like there's a new marketplace. There's new people that are waiting for something better.
I agree, and right now down here there is a community of creators and artists, but I believe this is still how you say the difference between right now the comic is more of a scene instead of an industry, the independent comic one.
Yeah.
I mean,
You saying in Mexico?
sí, in Mexico.
Yeah, and the people that go, the readers that go to book fairs is different readers. They're more like to they're more open. They like to experiment and like to take chances. And in Mexico, the book fairs run along like they're 10 days long, and there's a lot of people going. So it's very like Oliver says, is where the money is. But yeah, so but we decided to. And not before COVID, because we were planning on doing this.
Yeah.
So we decided to like give it a chance in the United States, no?
And the thing we discovered is that the kind of content we create is generally really welcome at this kind of cultural events of book fairs, and that's a really welcome change for a change, and being able to showcase comic work and this kind of events, especially in a really kind of cultural void that this whole country. It's really it was really refreshing seeing how our work was welcome there.
Well, before you go that far, man, let me tell you this much. Over here in the States, if you don't have a football, a baseball, or basketball in your hand, there is nothing. There is no appreciation for you. And it's sad because when you go over there and I've gone over there when these guys have invited me to these book fairs, and we're treated like freaking royalty. You know, writers, artists from across the country, they go over there. And man, you treat us like rock stars, dude, and it's awesome. And we come back over here, and they have like some book fair or whatever. It's 2 days long, and nobody shows up, and you're stuck with like a ton of books that you couldn't move or anything like that. You know, and you can tell the difference immediately. The appreciation for the artwork and the written word is far greater, I think, in other countries than it is in the U.S.
That's interesting.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Especially considering that Comicsgate is the majority of it seems to be in the US. There might be, or maybe it's like 50-50, but I mean that 50%, the other 50% is spread across the world.
I think it's becoming more and more international.
Mm.
Yeah, well, it's definitely growing. We have new people coming in.
I remember when Zach started, it was like 75% US, and now it's sort of coming down towards more like 65%, 60% US.
Mm-hmm.
And also
definitely a lot of more, you know.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go on.
No, I was just gonna say, definitely, I've seen it. Artists and creators that are in CG, they have a better understanding, a better appreciation and passion exactly for the work than I would feel that other, like the mainstream. The mainstream is like, we're gonna get this big book out, but it doesn't really belong to me. It belongs to the main 2 or the main 3. Now, when you pull back and you look at the writers and artists that are working in CG, these projects are dear to them because they're babies, and they're gonna push them, and they're gonna make it everything that it should be. And the presentation is way better than it's another Batman book, and and you pull back and you're like, hey, Cyberfrog, he's doing this and this and this. Like, hey, that sounds a lot better to me, and that piques my interest a little bit more.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, that's sort of that's what I get excited about is the passion. I meet new people almost every day now, like yourselves, and I love to hear the passion in people's voices when they're talking about their projects and what the dreams that they have for them in the future. And you really don't get that feeling from people who are just doing the next Batman story. Yeah,
it seems sometimes that those books just come out for speculators or people that are already used to collecting that type of book, and that's it. There's no, oh my God, the Joker has a new girlfriend. Wow, who really cares? Nobody cares, But then you put it up against like, hey, Cyberfrog, he's got a pretty cool toy that's coming out. Look at the prototype. Hey, they're not offering that over here. You're getting McFarlane toys with DC Comics. They all look the same, but this is different. This is something that I haven't seen before.
Well, and as well, you can kind of watch the process as it goes. I mean, with Ethan, for example, he'll show you, the 3D model, and then he'll go, oh, that's not, the legs aren't quite right, and this and that. And someone will say, oh, the belt is too big or something. And then, a week later, you see a better 3D model. And then a month later, you see a prototype photo, and then he's got the prototype next to him. And you can watch that and be part of that progression. That's what we can do.
Well, and you see the independent
creators.
You see the excitement that these creators have. Like the vast majority of these projects are passion projects, and it's the passion that's contagious, right? It's the passion that the creators have that fans get to interact with now. That's what that's what makes us different. That's what creates a better environment here than where we were coming from. The creators were not passionate about their projects, and they didn't want to share it with the fans, right? Unless you were the right type of fan. So,
well, because they're scared that they might get someone telling them they don't like it. They don't like criticism. They're scared of the toxic fans.
I mean, that's something that we want to bring to the table as well with our projects. We want to be approachable. We want to be able to interact with the fans, on that level where you see what you're going to get. We're not going to pull the covers over your eyes or anything like that at the very last second. This is what you're getting. This is what we're putting into it, and I hope that you can come along for the ride. And like you said, it like gets us all excited. hypes us up, and we want to do more. We want to keep going.
Yeah,
Have you
that's
guys
awesome.
crowdfunded before?
No, we have not.
Oh, actually, only Javier. He's done
Yeah.
a couple of Kickstarters. No, Javi.
I have two successfuls. One when it was another one in Mexico called Fondeadora. Then I made one with a friend for Kickstarter for a small graphic novel of like 40 pages.
Mhm.
And then I did one, my very last one for second part of my adventure webcomic was not successful, and I guess it was in a time that Oliver was telling me how the Kickstarter model was kind of going a bit off, and the Indiegogo was the way to go. And I'm
Yeah.
starting
Yeah, funny. I just watched a video on YouTube yesterday about the rise and fall of Kickstarter. And, you know, despite a few big campaigns like and there's been some recent success with
Can you start?
big comic Kickstarter.
Can you
You're gonna have to
start
start all
that
over.
idea?
Yeah, can you repeat that? Because we kind of lost you. You went robot.
Oh, God.
Only that idea. Just
It's
repeat the
okay,
idea.
Michael. You make the best robot in CG.
Robot rock.
No one.
Yeah, I was watching a video. I was watching a video about how the rise and fall of Kickstarter, and you know how Kickstarter was where a lot of people went on to do grifts and scams over the last 5 years. People with multi-million-dollar projects for stupid, weird gadgets and things, and they would scam people out of you'd scam 60,000 people out of $200 or something, and that just has sort of left it's tarnished the site. And Indiegogo that hasn't seemed to been caught up in that, thankfully. I just think I agree. I think their model, the way they do it, is a lot better, and I think people are just more understanding about what crowdfunding actually is now. And Indiegogo can just kind of sweep in there and pick up those people, hopefully.
I hope so. I hope this is going to be exciting when we actually launch it. I think it's going to be sooner than later because we keep postponing it, and then we start to talk to people about it, and everyone gets hyped up. So we're like, no, let's bring it forward, man. Let's do it sooner. And I don't know. I think it's going to be sooner than it is later. So.
And you're just doing back issue stuff currently?
Right now we're working on new stuff, but we do have a lot of back stock as well. This book itself was already done. And it was in Spanish. So the book is completed. It's ready to go. It's been translated and it's ready to go. So the turnaround is going to be really, really quick on this one as if we reach our goal, which we will. I'm pretty sure we will. So,
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys know what you're doing, so I don't see why you wouldn't reach your goal.
Mm-hmm.
yes, sir.
but
Hopefully
also of all these recent years, this is the year that any kind of measurement is never ever criticized because really weird shit has happened this year.
Yeah.
You think?
2020 has not been kind to the population of Earth. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some good memes floating around about that. I've seen. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but yeah, like there's a glitch in the Matrix and all sorts of stuff like that. But just before we go into the book, who does what? So if you guys could just sort of run through all of your roles on the book, we can kind of get to know who you guys are and what you do with the book.
Go ahead, Oliver.
I'll start. My name is Pancho. I'm Oliver's brother, and I'm the writer of the book.
Oliver, the letterer / designer, probably book designer. I don't know. Art director. Whip cracker.
Just keep
I like
adding
it.
titles.
Yeah. Make it
And
sound prestigious.
I guess that makes me the cracket.
No, Kraken's in the chat.
I'm doing the art. I'm doing the art for the book.
And I'm the translator / hype man. Yeah, boys. There you go. There was your hype for today. But,
He's our favorite
pretty
fave.
much. There's a flavor
yeah, every band needs one. I just felt like I was listening to the Beatles, go through saying, "Oh, I'm John, I play the drum. I play the guitar, and I'm Ringo, I play the drum."
Do you know who the Beatles are?
Yes, of course.
Well, John doesn't play the drums, so hopefully
I know.
Mike
I've
knows.
corrected
Yes.
myself. Thank you. Thank you.
I know, but
It's a bit hard to read and then do accents and then tell jokes. I'm still
I
working
know,
on it.
but it was more fun to make fun of you than to let it go.
My only joke
Barcroft's
usually
the
when I'm
one-man
doing fun is, "I'm John from Liverpool." All right, so let's go through the book a little bit here. It is as you said, it's a zombie book set on the border. It's 116 pages of zombie carnage and border horror. Tell us a bit more.
The border horror shtick is what we're trying to press, especially since we live in this area of the country, and there's so much stuff that goes on here that we tell people when we go out of the town, we go out of the state, and people are just fascinated by all the stuff that happens here on a regular basis. I mean, for example, the biggest thing is Juarez. Juarez, Mexico is considered the most dangerous city on the face of the planet. There's assassinations every day, executions, just murders galore, as compared to El Paso, which up until last year, when there was an actual shooting here, it was the safest city to live in the continental United States.
Actually, let me give you the
Wow.
correct numbers right now.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Careful with some of the language because we will get booted.
Yeah, Ciudad Juarez is the second place right now of the most dangerous city in the world, and El Paso, Texas, is number 5 of the safest cities in the world.
Wow.
The most dangerous city in the world is Chop.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Because if you get shot or stabbed there, no one's coming.
No one's coming for you
because the population will keep everyone out.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So now if we get booted, it'll be because of Bancroft just for mentioning the city name. So everyone's off the hook.
Yeah.
No worries.
Okay, so yep, go on.
Oh yeah, so that's type of the type of stuff that we'd like to put into our books. We did a book last year. It was called The Border, just The Border, and in it we had 3 horror stories. The crazy thing is that all those horror stories are rooted in some sort of reality. The first story that we had in there was about there's a initiation rite in El Paso that once you are of age, more or less like 15, 16, you go across the border and you get drunk on the strip. There's a part of Juarez that is the strip, and anything and everything that you can possibly imagine happens on the strip. And you stay on the strip. If you go over one street in any direction, it's a possibility that you'll never be seen again. So that was that story that we did for that part of the book. And then there's La Llorona. I don't know if you guys have heard about La Llorona. It's kind of like a banshee.
Okay.
And what she does is she hunts children. It's like a mythical being that hunts children. She's always by the riverside. She's pretty much a banshee, but in Mexican lore they call her La Llorona. And it's like a big thing that we grew up with here on both sides of the border, that if you go out past a certain time, if you're being bad to your parents, the Llorona will come and get you and take you away, because she murdered her children, and now she's trying to replace them with any children she can find. So that was the second story. And the third story that we had was the scariest one of them all. And that's because it's an actual thing that does happen. Pancho, please explain that one, because you explain a lot better than I do.
Really?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, you put me on the spot. Yeah, it's the story is about the coming of age of a young narco's son. No, so he's a teenager. He turns 13, and then they do a party, but the party is in itself, it's like initiation. He has to kill someone and stuff like that. No, pretty stuff like that. It's like
Yep.
how do you call it, Ray? Like the bar mitzvah, the not.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bar mitzvah. It's like he's becoming a man, so he has to do manly things, especially if he's going to go into the same business that his relatives are in. So
you see the comic. It was a pretty bit. How do you say it? strong, fuerte.
Controversial.
Controversial, yeah, because
Heavy stuff.
yeah, heavy stuff because it's a 13-year-old, like doing. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it was kind of
It's not
controversial.
doing the things that a lot of other 13-year-olds are thinking about around in other safer parts of the world. Let's just say that.
Exactly,
Exactly.
because that's our context. That's how we live. That's
Yep.
the stuff that we see. Kids that live here that are in that they don't have options of living. They don't have like options to go to school, to work. They know that they go into a gang or into the narco cartel, or they go to the factory and they won't make what the kind of money they need, and once they get enrolled in the cartel, they know that they need to live fast because the life expectancy it's like 20, 21, so it's pretty hard. It's not a war zone, but it was. No, it's kind of like it's very gray. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's complicated. It's complex. It's there. Always is there. No, the evil stuff is there.
Yep.
Yeah. If you go to Mexico
Yep.
or if you go to Juarez and you're looking for it, it's gonna find you. That's pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah,
if you go and you play it safe, you're fine. But there's
So
always that possibility.
yeah, so we decided, and
I was just thinking, sorry if this is like making light of it, but I was thinking it's a little bit like Twitter. If you go in there and tread lightly, you'll be fine. But if you go looking for trouble
Yes.
and you get involved with the wrong people, then your life is going to be
exactly.
You're gonna get canceled, but for real.
It's okay. We're all good people here.
Yeah,
That's
Exactly.
this is as close as I know. I can kind of understand what you guys are talking about living in safe Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne, Australia was voted like 10 years in a row the most livable city in the world by some group for being, just a good place to live and safe and friendly and lots of opportunities. So yeah, I can't really I don't really have much experience with the sort of life that you guys are describing here and this kind of city in the background.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing about it. And the whole border horror hashtag that we use, that's where it pretty much originates from. And we're taking it a little bit further, doing the zombie horror along with that. We're using the zombie metaphor in order to showcase a lot of other stuff that happens around here that really no one talks about. There's the femicide, there's the cartels, there's communities that you can't even go into. If they don't know you, you'll be shot dead. Nobody will ever see you again. Every day, there's something that might happen in Juarez. And these guys are living proof of it. I mean, Oliver was having that chat with Micah, and he got there was like a shooting outside or something like that.
Yeah, it was during the launch of 3 nights, 4 days.
And that's
And-
something. Yes, Oliver, go on.
And we were chatting, and I just suddenly started hearing gunshots outside my window. So
Oh, God.
Naturally, I got up, I muted my mic, got up, and shut the window so I wouldn't interrupt the stream. But that's how it is over here, man. You're just
That's crazy.
used to it. Yeah, it's business as usual, man. And strangely enough, that shooting didn't appear in the newspaper the next day. So I don't know who they killed or what happened, but yeah, it's a mystery right now.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, it sounds like, this is a really intense backdrop to build your kind of comic universe from. There's a lot of, opportunity there for good storytelling. And yeah, definitely you're not short on any conflict and drama, that's for sure.
And it's a good
definitely.
way to reach a catharsis, no, Pancho?
Mhm,
Just
mhm.
something to like spill out onto your pages, no, your script or whatever. Because
And speaking of catharsis and what Ray was saying earlier,
Well, this is the thing. Entertainment is the way that we normalize a lot of the problems that we go through. And it's when we normalize it, we find ways to actually deal with it. And sometimes problems that are too big for us to handle, when we see it in different forms, we start to be able to break that down and be like, okay, I can come after this. You know, I can be a part of making this a better situation. So
That's
No, it's very true. I mean, and Pancho has always put it that way. The city itself, the city that they live in, is a character in the book because whenever you visit
yeah, it would
Juarez,
have
there's
to be.
just this sense of like, oh my God, what am I stepping into here? You know, it's crazy.
What were you saying earlier, Xavier?
What I was gonna say before I read that Monterrey comment, that I agree. By the way, Monterrey is a bit like Detroit in the RoboCop movies. At least as the last time I went to Monterrey, that's the feel I got for the city. No, what I was gonna say is that we have this as a team, as a discussion. In the past stream we had in our own stream that zombie stories are almost never about zombies, unless it's a real bit bad one that doesn't get the point. Usually they are stories about something, and the zombie aspect is like the vehicle or
the backdrop. Yeah.
Yeah, the backdrop
Plot device.
of the kind of idea you want to externalize on the story. And I guess, our general idea is that in this one we're doing with the border towns, Ciudad Juárez, El Paso as a backdrop, is a bit to tell our own people and the people of the world our perspective on how the could you call it, the Mexican kind of feeling, Mexican, I wouldn't say culture, how you say, Pancho, the idiosyncrasia in English.
Oh,
It's the
the
same
idiosyncrasy.
idiosyncrasies, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
more or less.
I mean that's great. Like, because otherwise, someone like me on the other side of the world, living in a very different city in a very different situation, otherwise, wouldn't have much connection to, that what's happening over there and what the cities are like and the way of life and everything.
And for me, it's kind of interesting because as the artist of this, the zombies are a really big deal and a big part of the book. But the interesting characters are always the live ones, and they are the ones that make the book interesting because how they react to the situation. And I guess one idea that I like about all this this kind of art doing in this book is how the zombies are not characters per se, but they are aside from something that is not alive, they are the humans that become part of the background. I don't know if I'm throwing this idea out in the right way, that zombies as a character, as a background set, they become kind of part of the background, and that's
Yep. They're
one
the sort
of
of
the things I like
tapestry of the story.
about these books. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
Zaid Comics is here. What up?
Hey,
Zaid Comics,
Hail,
how you
Phil.
doing, buddy?
What up, Zayd?
Always good to see him.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, and Skip. That's awesome. Skip's here too. I actually just
Hey,
did a
Skip.
show with Skip.
Cheers to Skip.
Yeah, a couple 3 days ago. Did a show with Skip. Definitely go over and check out his channel. It was really cool. All about starting up campaigns and stuff and what to expect.
Cool.
Yeah, we love Skip. Yeah, it's zombie stories. They're not going away, are they? It just seems to be something that has struck a chord, and people just keep coming back to them. And like you say, they can. It's about other things, and the zombies is just a really good vehicle to use to to tell different kinds of stories. I don't think I've seen exactly this kind of story in a zombie story before. So that's another cool thing that you guys are doing.
It's something that we're trying to do, is something different, because I mean every theme seems to have been already done up and beaten to death and stuff. So hopefully this will resonate with people on a different level, and they'll follow us with our other projects that we're working on as well, and of course a continuation of the story once we get because I think there's another 2 parts to this, right, Oliver?
Yeah, it's this one, and there's volume 2, and I think your story. No, we're gonna.
Oh yes, yeah. The next part to Hell's Pass also.
Yeah, it's a big saga, guys.
You guys
awesome.
are keeping busy. And this, like we said earlier, I don't know if you've just joined us, this is already done, this book, yeah?
Yeah,
Mhm.
we are going
good
to add some new stuff, some new art, kind of like a recap of the old books.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
yeah, those. That's gonna be nothing for Javier, right, Javier?
Yes, but right now we are sitting on what, 100 pages, 100 finished pages.
Yeah, and also we have a few stretch goals that we're gonna offer, like backstory probably of some of the characters.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it when the stretch goals are more story. I think that is the best stretch goal. If a team can, if the producer can manage it, I always think that's the best stretch goal you can possibly do.
Yes, it's gonna
If
be
the whip cracker can crack that whip.
Mhm. Exactly.
You can.
it's gonna be like a one shot, like a kind of like a side issue, a part of the main story, just to give a little bit of backstory to some of the characters. And
Just say world building, Oliver, because that's
There
the
you go.
thing,
that's the term, world building. Okay, more world building. There you go.
Yes.
because that's
Getting
really
some
the
of that
thing
deep lore.
people crave.
Yeah.
That one creates interesting universes to tell stories, and that you implement the stuff from these universes.
It says manga style graphic novel. Is that anything in specific other than just it's black and white?
Javier.
That would be on Javier.
What's the question again? Sorry.
It says it's in a manga style graphic novel. Is that a size thing, or is that it's just because it's in black and white?
A size.
Or it's just the art style?
I don't
It's
really
just your
understand.
style. I think he's talking about your style, the way that you draw the book. It's a manga
Yeah, but
style.
I'm just asking because say Liam Gray has a manga book it's in a different format than a normal American comic book. I was just wondering for anyone who's interested.
Oh, I see. No, it'll be in the full size. As far as I know, we've never made it into a manga size. But I
Well,
believe
the
sorry, go ahead.
original one, it's in the 6x9 size. The Mexican edition is on that size, but for the US, we're gonna go full comic book size.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
but the manga style aspect is just the artwork. That's Javier's signature
Style. Yeah.
style.
And so obviously you guys have a unique setting for this zombie story. Do you have anything unique about the zombies themselves, or is that they're just like, are they zombies that we're going to recognize, the same kind of zombies? They're just mindless eating machines. What kind of zombies
no.
are they?
There's a thing that occurs every summer over here in Juarez. The ticks. On top of everything else, we have like a tick infestation over here. So
You have a what? Sorry.
tick infestation.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's at the end of your trailer. There was a
yes,
tick.
that's that. Yeah. So zombies are infected by ticks. Yeah.
The thing about the thing about the ticks is that they can bury themselves in the ground and remain dormant for like many years. And it's something that we've experienced over here in El Paso as well, because there's a lot of ticks. Like if you don't see them for a while, then they come out. All of a sudden, it just depends on the weather and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yep.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just agreeing. Yeah, that sounds cool. I like that little.
In my case, as someone that got to know this universe after it was created, the zombies being infected and the virus carried by ticks became a really big interest point to me because I haven't seen that in any other media.
So
Yep.
basically, this is just going to be August in 2020.
Yes.
Pretty much.
It could be at this rate.
Actually, our
I just gotta say that this is like an idea from 2006, 7 maybe. So if you guys get to see some movie, some Netflix series that rips this idea off, now you know
Now we know where it came from.
it was a Pancho and Oliver idea.
It's nuts because a lot of the stuff that we've come up with over the years, it's starting to come out now, like in mainstream and in reality, which is even scarier. I think like maybe 2 months ago, or maybe a month ago, people were talking about the fact that the corona was a designer virus, that it was actually created or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've been saying that since December. Yeah,
and it only attacks certain I guess ethnic groups also, or it attacks them harder. And we have a story like that in Hell's Pass. There's a part of Hell's Pass that we were talking about that one of the characters is actually giving like this big monologue about how ticks got infected with this virus because it was created by a different part of the government, blah blah blah. And we were looking at each other like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, art imitates life, imitates art, kind of thing,
Well, that was the thing with Lyme disease. That was someone was brought over during Operation Paperclip, and they were stationed in a science facility outside of the town of Lyme in the States.
Oh, wow.
And during World War II, this person had been testing, or had been trying to figure out a way to spread disease through insects. They had abandoned it though, because it was not impartial. So if you released it, you were infecting your own troops as well. So they had abandoned it at that time. He was brought over during Operation Paperclip. And then the next thing you know, all the ticks around Lyme, which was the first place that Lyme disease was found, became, and that's why it was named Lyme disease.
Wow.
Became carriers.
Yeah. So now we don't know if we just know the connections. We don't know if it was actually what happened, right? We can just say that story surrounds it. We don't know if that's actually.
Well, what we do know is that this is going to happen in 2020, because if it was ever going to happen, it would be happening this year.
This is August, so you're giving us a preview.
Everyone get your zombie weapons ready. Maybe go over to Brian Chrisgow's house. He's got 200 swords over there.
There you go.
I got my machete ready.
A good sword. Yep, machete, swords. If you've got a baseball bat, get some barbed wire fence.
Lucille, that thing, man.
Yeah. That's right.
And another thing about ticks is the visual aspect. No, have you seen like a dog like swarmed with ticks?
Oh yeah,
it's
pretty bad.
So imagine a rotting corpse filled with grape-sized.
Well, I'm looking at the pictures now, and I realize that these things on the outside of them aren't moles or whatever. It's ticks, right, on the outside of the zombies. Yeah.
Yes.
But in the case of you guys, I guess fair to say you could get like a bunch of giant spiders infected with ticks, and I don't know, some wallabies.
That's Michael's nightmare.
Some crocodiles.
Some wallabies.
Now you're just describing the lucent. You're just describing the lucent issue too.
That's right. Hey, nice. I don't get the opportunity very often to talk to many Latino people. What do you guys think? I heard this today on a video on Twitter, and someone just dropped like Latinx as a name. What do you guys think of that?
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm on the fence with it. I really don't use it much in my hashtags or anything like that. It's supposed to be kind of a take on Chicanoism, which Chicanoism is Mexican Americans that are born in the States, but they have their roots in Mexico. And the true Chicanos, or whatever you want to call them, they use an X instead of a C, CH. They use an X, Chicano. So the Latinx thing is trying to incorporate that as well, while at the same time incorporating like all the other the gender, the transgender, the LGBTQ, all that stuff. into the Latinx hashtag. So yeah, it's I don't know. Pancho, did you have some thoughts on that last time we were talking about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say that the Latinx is more for the Chicano stuff is correct, but it's more for the Latino, Latina, so everybody's in that represented in that tag in that hashtag Latinx.
Is it trying to get rid of the gendered language Latino, Latina? Is that what it is?
Yes, yes.
Right. I just wonder how well that's going to take on. I don't think that's how language. I don't know if it can be
But
changed by proxy
it's
like that.
in the, for example, in our cases, for the Latino comic scene, it's been like 3 years now, Ray, using that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about 3 years, and
Yeah,
there
but-
hasn't really been any sort of big movement with it. So it's just there. It's just kind of like
It's just you say so. Not many people are taking it on board. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. I mean,
more
we
like-
tried it out for a
more-
while, but it didn't work for
more-
me. So
more like
Yeah.
more like not many people take it seriously.
there you go. There you go. That's exactly
Yeah, it's plus it doesn't roll off the tongue very well.
yeah. It's
even-
a mouthful.
That's right. Like even when I hear Latinos say it, it doesn't sound very natural. So you've got to
doesn't
have
sound
something like that.
Latino.
It's got to sound good too if you want people to start using it.
Yeah, I always
There
think
you
of the
go.
X-Men.
Hey, Vinny
when
Arts
anybody
here. Hey,
does it.
Vinny, how you going, buddy?
Hey, Beanie.
Vinny.
See if they
Great,
tried to
great.
make it like that. This is X-Men. Then people might be more interested,
I mean,
especially in the comic world.
X-Men, yeah, we'll use it.
I don't know, man.
So,
But
like,
so we're getting ready to do this, man. And before anything else happens, I just want to thank you guys for having us on here. Really, really appreciate it. Meeting other like-minded people as well that love the creation of comics. So thank you guys for that.
yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I love to do. I'm all for just kind of meeting new people every day, and seeing their projects, their cool projects, and kind of hearing what they're all about and where they come from. It's really cool. Like I couldn't imagine some people who are you guys are on the other side of the world. You sound like you're living in a different planet to what I'm living on. If there was a gunshot out the window outside my window, it would be front headline news for a month.
Wow.
We don't even really have guns here in the suburbs or the cities. Most of our guns are out in the rural areas, and they're just bolt action rifles for killing kangaroos and stuff. So
Yeah,
That whole
I had a
sentence.
question. I had a question about that, Barcroft.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's real or not, but I saw Twitter a tweet that apparently there was like some mad kangaroo that was like 6.5 feet tall, terrorizing people somewhere in Australia.
I haven't heard about that, but they are that tall or taller.
Wow.
They're
That's
the
crazy.
Reds. They're the big Reds.
red
they're the ones
kangaroos,
out in the
yeah.
outback. And
Mhm.
especially when they get mangy and they lose a bit of their hair, and you get to see just how ripped they are. If one of them was angry with you, you
Yeah,
would
right.
not.
That sounds more like business as usual with kangaroos. I've seen a video of a guy in his house, and he has like a big ass window on his garden.
Uh-huh.
And there's like a 2 meter tall kangaroo just
What?
tapping his nails on the window. And it sounds terrifying.
Yo, bro, what you
terrifying.
up to?
Yeah, he's just like snapping his nails in the window, and it's kind of creepy, really creepy.
Come on.
Look, most of the time they're pretty docile creatures, but if one wants to fight and he wants to fight you're in a bit of trouble. But there are real videos of people fighting them. They do.
Wow.
It's funny because they box, but you've got to watch out when they lean back on their tail. That's when they're about to try and kick your balls off with their.
Oh God.
Is that
with their
the
code.
super move?
What's that?
Is that their super move?
That's their super move. Yeah. So they will start off with just a few jabs and stuff. But if they feel like they're gonna lose, then they will lean back and just try and
And they're going for the balls.
kick your balls off. Yeah, I mean that's what they do to other kangaroos, and we're about similar kind of height. So yeah, I wouldn't make one angry. That's for sure.
Dude, I wouldn't want to be walking around there drunk and then run into a 6.5 foot tall kangaroo.
Well,
That's trying
it's
to
a
kick your
bit
balls
more
off.
like they're a bit more like wild animals in what I imagine, say like a bear. You're not going to find one very often just in the suburbs. You'd never see one in a city, for example. But if you go out into the bush, they travel in herds and stuff, but they probably have no interest in you.
Yeah, over here, every once in a while we get like a cougar, a mountain lion comes down, or the coyotes will come in. But that's about it. Like we don't get anything bigger than that. So a mountain lion's still pretty crazy, but not very often.
Antoine says when he's in a fight losing, he goes for the balls. Kangaroo strategy.
Antoine is part kangaroo confirmed.
There you go. That's his super move right there. So.
Yeah. Guys, my hour is up.
Yeah, we went long.
Yeah,
we can keep going.
I know. I feel like I could, but unfortunately, I do have to go back to work. It has been fantastic meeting you guys and chatting.
Likewise.
The book sounds great and it looks great too. I love that black white style for a book like this. It just fits so perfectly. It just gels so perfectly. So anyone who's interested, and why wouldn't you be? And just go and sign up. I always say, come on, guys. I mean, I'm going to sign up after the stream's over, and you all should too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Awesome.
Yeah, get these guys' numbers up there. The mailing list is so important for us indie creators.
Well, and these guys are
to
primed.
build that up.
These guys are primed for Comicsgate success. I mean, they've put out their books before. You know that they're going to deliver.
Yep.
They have a great product. They are not trying to put agenda into. They're putting, their personal experiences and that kind of stuff in, but it's not about trying to change people's perception. They want to bring you entertainment, and they're obviously on board with Comicsgate. They've been promoting other people's campaigns. These guys are on board. I mean, let's see how far their boat will go.
Thank you.
Well said, Bandito. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
And you said sooner rather than later. Do you have a ballpark of when you might go live?
Early August.
Ooh,
excellent.
I
Excellent.
keep shrinking. I keep shrinking. I think it's going to be
Everyone else is worried.
July. Yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for coming on. I know it was short notice, so thanks for that as well. Man. I know, like wrangling everyone together. That's really cool that you're able to do that. And I'm sure we'll see you around out there. Thanks, Bandito, for coming on too. And how the chat, everyone, for coming in and leaving comments and listening, hearing these guys out. I think this is good stuff. I'm really, really glad we did this.
Awesome.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys.
You're welcome.
We'll see
I'm
you
sure
around.
We'll speak again, sir. So
yes, absolutely. And I'll see the chat tomorrow. We'll have someone else cool coming on, and we'll have lots of fun then too. All right, guys. Bye.
Well met.
See ya.
See ya.